All right, welcome back to Staying in Minnesota, episode number 2 now. Ryan Hype, how you doing tonight?
To
Two. Good
good.
reviews on our first show. The only thing is ran a little long. We're going to try to cut it down a little bit here. So we're going to jump in right away to what are you drinking?
I'm here to make. Oh!
Norman?
Gentlemen, start your taps.
What are you drinking today, Ryan?
Well, the beer fairy came by my house today, and for anybody that's been paying attention to me online in my other social media accounts, so I started with the Stacked Deck from St. Paul. I mean, since we didn't get to go out and party on St. Patrick's Day, I saw this in the liquor store. And if you're a Boondock Saints fan, which I know Raider isn't, but this was a badass, stupid expensive for a 4-pack. But I mean, it's the only beer can I've ever seen with Ron Jeremy on it. So I had to get that one. And then we continued down that road where the beer fairy came to my house because they saw me doing a review of that. And then I had the Big Lebowski themed beer, which was pretty good. That's right. And then we're continuing the trend because apparently it's a whole series. But I gotta. This is the one out of the series because I looked it up on Stacked Deck or their website, and this is the one. If you can see it, I don't know if you can. All the other ones, I knew what it was. I knew what the reference was. This one, I don't know.
Is it, can I guess?
Yeah.
Is it either from the movie Heavy Metal?
Then it doesn't look familiar to me. It says Sally Forth Saison. I suppose I could Google what Sally Forth is, but I don't know. And then it looks like some kind of zombie king or something with like a skull helmet. I don't know.
Like the guy from Gwar.
A little bit. But yeah, like if anybody knows what the hell this is the reference to, it's all pop culture references. Some of them are movies, some of them are music. So whichever one this was, oh, he's got a big ass sword too. If you can see that, it's cool.
The movie Heavy Metal. That's what I'm gonna go with.
I don't know. Somebody out there's got to know though. We could look it up, I suppose. But that's kind of the fun of the podcast. But that's a saison. I don't really know how to define a saison, but let's see. Smells like something from Wild Mind.
Probably hoppy.
And there's a lot of people out there that will know what that means.
Well, if you try that, I'm also drinking a Stacked Deck Brewing. I wear my sunglasses at night, which is a New England double IPA. It's got that 8.5 ABV, so you don't take many of these
Forgot to look up the ABV on this one. It's hard to tell on these cans.
It's right there.
6.5. Stacked Deck Brewing in St. Paul. Which there's a lot of cool breweries in St. Paul. This one's cool. They're all right.
Well, Stacked Deck, if you're listening, you should give us a little bit of a sponsorship or maybe a free 4-pack one sometime. We're promoting the hell out of these.
I haven't looked them up yet, but I think they're partially funded by Treasure Island Casino.
That'd be a weird thing to name it.
Oh, no.
No.
There we go. Shit. Are you still there? My phone was plugged in and I accidentally kicked the cord.
It's all right. I'm going to try my editing software out here, see if I can edit that out. If I can't, I'm sorry for everyone's eardrums that just blew that.
I think I heard from somewhere that that they're backed by Treasure Island Casino. It's a cool space. It's in downtown St. Paul, and it's a little bit hard to get to.
Well, that'd be a terrible name if you're sponsored by a casino to go Stacked Deck. It'll just make you trust the casino even less. Oh, wow.
I don't like, you don't see advertising for the casino anywhere, but I'm pretty sure that it has something to do with Treasure Island Casino. But it's worth stopping in and checking out if you haven't gone there. But This would be a good time, like since I'm on the topic of St. Paul casinos, and now that I know some people have actually watched this because I've seen some of the comments. Uh, you've been to Waldman with me.
Yep.
And bad weather, obviously, it's right around the corner. Can you any other St. Paul casinos or not casinos, breweries that you've been to with me? Because I've been to.
Say you're going to get these places in trouble for illegal gambling. I didn't know they had casinos. The breweries down there, no, Waldman's my favorite. I like that German atmosphere, and their bratwurst there is really, really good. It reminded me of when I was in Germany. And it's kind of cool. I like them historical type houses and stuff like that. Waldman's is just basically a house. It's just somebody's house that you're walking into, which I find really cool and interesting personally.
But the one, can you think of are those the only two you've been to with me in St. Paul?
I don't know. I feel like me and my dad probably went with you to a couple in St. Paul. I can't think of what they
Waldman, bad weather.
Yeah, but I feel like we hit like 3 or 4 that night.
We did?
Yeah.
Shit.
I feel like we did. I know. Well, we went to the one place that ended up being closed that we went to this last time.
Oh, Clutch.
Yeah, Clutch.
Topic Kegging case. Also cool.
We may have just cut right over to Surly, I think, now that I think about it.
We did go to Surly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we did go to Surly.
But that might have been a different time, too. I mean, we've gone out beer hopping with him, I think, 2 or 3 different times now.
I don't know. Unfortunately, and now in hindsight, looking dangerously, they all seem to run together. But I would say, and I know J-Bone's probably going to watch because I know he watched the first one, so he can back me up on Waldman. Waldman is my favorite. My second favorite is Yorg. Y-O-R-G, I think. I don't know. It's something like that. I'm a little drunk right now, but it's Yorg, also in St. Paul. Super cool. If you've been to Waldman and you dig it, you'll absolutely dig Yorg as well. Same kind of old school, really low key, super, super, super authentic German beers. It's very, very cool. It's it's on the campus, I think, of is it Metro State over there, up in 94. You know where I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
That place is super cool. The one that I keep hitting and missing on is Tin Whiskers. I don't know if you've been there, but
There with you.
yeah, see, it's another St. Paul brewery. So Tin Whiskers, every now and then they put out some that are super good. They do a lot of the really off the wall, like candy themed beers, and some of them are amazing and some of them are disappointing, but also kind of a cool spot. There's a lot of breweries over there.
Yeah, I like German beers, but German beers are usually a little too strong for my taste. I usually have to stick with the Pilsners out there. They're really even more hoppy for me. And
German beers are not hoppy.
Strong is the word I meant. What's the word I'm looking for?
Maibox, Doppelbox, stuff like that. They're usually really caramely, malty.
I'm not a fan of dark beers. I mean, that's anyone knows me knows that. I kind of tend to lean more towards the IPAs and the hoppies and the.
Nothing like getting a good like Bach or whatever where they do the poke. Have you seen the pokes?
No.
It's a winter thing. Like they do it at Waldman. They started doing it at Waldman recently. Like you get a Bach. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly what the chemistry is involved. I think it caramelizes, but they'll take like a red hot poker that's been in the bonfire and then they put it in your beer and it caramelizes the beer. It's awesome. If you're look it up.
We'll have to try it out once the world starts spinning again, basically.
I think it's like I haven't really looked it up. I know Schell's does it. Waldman does it now. I think Surly was doing it. But it's I think it's like a traditional German thing, like fall winter festival kind of thing.
Okay. Oh, I'll check it out. Sounds like a kind of like a gimmick though, almost like the shot that you set on fire.
A little bit. Like this has a purpose. It actually changes the taste of the beer.
Right on. Well, it's in the interest of keeping our show a little short, because I think you and me could talk about beer most of the night. Let's move on to what are you listening to?
Are you listening to me? What do you want to do I want to rock.
So what are you listening to, Rye?
Currently, not a whole lot. What I'll plug though is everybody watching that knows what band I'm in and the people that I'm in that band with. My bass player, friend, and very talented multi-instrumentalist David LeDuc has been going online, and I've seen him play piano, I've seen him play guitar, and he started doing live broadcasts, and he's got the virtual tip jar out there, and you can play like Stump Dave. Takes requests. Obviously, if you're paying him, he takes your requests more seriously.
You jump
But
on the line kind of deal.
he also, while I'm plugging him, that's on Facebook. Go friend him on Facebook. His name is David LeDuc, LEDUC. But he fronts a different band called Phantom Heart, and it's tons of. I think they have 3 albums out now. Not really sure. Don't quote me on that. Sorry, David. But they have multiple albums out, all original material. Go check them out. They're called Phantom Heart. You can stream them on Spotify, but they would probably appreciate it a lot more if you went to like iTunes and just bought their shit straight from them, or go to their website, Google them right now, or maybe you could find them, Raider, and put them somewhere and buy it direct from them. It's really good. David does really good work. So that's what I'm listening to. What are you listening to?
Well, I'm kind of in the same little ballpark as you, except I'm going to go away from music a little bit. I'm listening to a lot of friends that are in the service industry. As you can see, I'm wearing my tailgate shirt here. And I'm listening to them and going out and ordering food on my own, allegedly, and supporting small businesses. So I went out to, I listened to my friends. I listened to your post that you made the other day, and I ordered food from my favorite neighborhood bar, the Tailgate. Went and ordered a bunch of food there. It was delicious, as always. Just want people to get out and, listen to other people and go out, stay home, but, pick it up from your car, but go to the small business. Don't go to the chain stuff. The McDonald's is going to be fine. McDonald's is going to make it through. Go to the mom and pop shops, the ones that aren't corporate, and
that reminds me of something I saw on social media recently in the same vein that said, like, hey, I hope everybody is paying attention that to the fact that McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Pizza Hut, shit like that, they aren't the ones offering to feed school kids.
Right.
During all this, it's probably your local restaurants, farmers markets, etc. Like, so just remember who's loyal to you, and try to be loyal to them.
Well, not only that too, but most of the employees that are at fast food joints or corporate joints, well, I won't say corporate joints, but fast food joints, they're getting their same pay that they were getting before. The places that are struggling are the bartenders and the waitresses and the waiters that are at places, mom and pop stores, that they can't get anything. I work in casino business and I work minimum wage plus tips, but my tips are very good, and the state lets me claim my own insurance with my tips. I don't think that happens for waitresses and bartenders because it's so hard to tell how much their tips are going to be in a night. So I know a lot of them are struggling. I think they're only getting their minimum wage on unemployment. So if you can tip a little better, I mean, go for it if you can. I know it's tough times right now and everyone's got to kind of conserve what they got. But keep in mind, when you go out to eat, and if you have you can go out once a week to, a restaurant near you that you like, a place that you frequent on your own that's not a corporate place. And just remember the people that are trying to work there and survive are going through the same stuff we're going through, and just support them a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, no disrespect to the people that work fast food who still won't make enough, but they're going to make the same amount as they were making 2 months ago.
Right. I didn't mean any disrespect to them. I'm saying the shutdown or the quarantine doesn't affect them as much as it affects your mom and pop store.
They were getting paid.
Right. And that's what I worry about. Oh, you went dark there, right? Back?
Yeah.
Oh. All right, he's back. I think that's a good part on what are you listening to. Let's move on right into what are you watching?
You know, stay with me, man. I'm full of information. I'm like an infomercial. You know what one of them is? It's information that you get in a commercial. Let's freaking see if one's on now.
Good old Carl. What are you watching, Ryan?
You know, to be honest, I'm taking in a whole lot of YouTube lately. Like we talked about it last week. Watch Picard, but this is the first time that I've actually started to really kind of try to cultivate my YouTube. What am I trying to say? Channels that I like, and one of the first ones that what is it? It's like Today I Learned, or Today I Found Out About, or something.
Talking about YouTube channels?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure if I just bring it up, it'll be one of the first ones that I see. I should have been better prepared for this one.
Well, while he's looking it up, I can tell you some YouTube channels that I like. I like to watch, I'm a big science nerd, so I like to watch a lot of SciShow. So SciShow Space is something that I watch religiously. SciShow is also another great one, just the original SciShow. I like to watch that a lot. I also like to watch some podcasts. I watch a lot of Pat McAfee. I like Pat the NES Punk. I like, obviously, anything from Cinemassacre is always good.
Yeah.
I watch YouTube a ton. I mean, if you're friends with me on Xbox, you see that I'm watching YouTube probably most of the day.
Oh, okay. Here's a couple that I've Generation Gap Gaming, which is one that if you haven't seen it, you'd probably dig it.
What's it called?
Generation Gap Gaming, all one word. Like the first one that pops up in my queue is he's talking about Castlevania on the NES. Another one is the Infographics Show, which I don't really know how to describe that one, but it's super educational. And the other one I really like recently is called Today I Found Out, which like 15-minute videos about just the most random topic of, little known stuff. But what is this one?
Is it kind of like that Adam Ruins Everything?
A little bit. Like, I like Adam Ruins Everything because Adam Ruins Everything is like the book Everything You Know Is Wrong. I like that one a lot. Whereas like this one is just like Today I Found Out is more like shit you never thought about before, just a random topic you've never thought about. And it like this one, I'll try to give you an example. Well, let's run down their featured playlist. The Teenage Girls Who Seduced and Killed Nazis. What did people use before there was toilet paper? The Curious Case of Ray-Ban wearing self-mummified, whatever that is. The surprisingly super interesting origin of the Confederate flag. What the fuck? Man, there's a lot of shit. They've been around a long time, and they've got a shit ton of videos, and there's a lot I haven't watched yet.
I'm going to have to check that out because that sounds like something I would dig.
Yeah, it's just called Today I Found Out. And it's hosted by this little bald British guy that kind of looks like J-Bone. Full beard. I'm just now putting that together. J-Bone, you should host a YouTube channel.
And he should name it Yesterday I Found Out.
That's what I'm watching today. Where are we at? What else?
Oh, we're also still what are we watching? I just want to point out your shirt that I got you for your birthday there. If you haven't watched Letterkenny before, that show is hilarious. And if you never watched Letterkenny, once you find out what that shirt means, it's going to be really hilarious to you.
I have 3 different shirts like that all say this. That all say allegedly.
You have the Seabox shirt that says allegedly, though.
Not yet.
I can't wait. I will be, as soon as that shirt comes in, Marcus, if you're watching this, I'm waiting for that shirt to come in. As soon as that comes in, I'll wear it on the podcast here.
Ooh. I just like in my queue right now just popped up Generation Gap Gaming, Super Mario 64, Secrets, History, and Full Run in 17 minutes.
If you like that, then you should watch The Gaming Historian too. They do a lot of really nice stuff like that, where they talk about old games and they talk about the history of them and how they came to be and stuff.
There's actually that's funny you say that because there's one on my home screen right now about by that channel called The History of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade and NES games.
Gaming Historian, yeah, I've watched it. I've watched all his videos. They're very good. He kind of I'm trying to think of who he reminds me of. I can't think of it, but you'd watch it, and then tell me who he reminds you of, because it's going to be the same person we know. I just can't think of who it is.
Okay.
Right now. But that's good for what are we watching here. Let's go right to what are you looking forward to?
You're looking at now, sir. Everything that happens now is happening now.
What happened to then?
We passed that.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just now.
When will then be now?
Soon.
All right, so what are you looking forward to, Ray?
What am I looking forward to? Well, I just got a message on Facebook from our friends in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, the Shriners out in Sioux Falls. I guess they have a quarterly magazine, and this last quarter, the newest one is out right now called Cactus Magazine. They just sent me a link, and it features us. So anything that features me, I'm looking forward to reading. The El Riyadh Shrine in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So
Yes, though, if you watch episode 1, you say you don't like to watch yourself, but you're going to read yourself. You're like reading yourself, but not watching yourself.
they'll probably have a couple tasteful pictures, and then an article about how great I am. That I can stomach.
Okay.
Watching this or watching me perform, like I generally don't watch videos of myself. I get sent them. People send me videos of me a lot. I don't get the Snapchat thing. I get it a lot where people in the crowd at my shows will Snapchat me video of me. I don't understand what that.
How many did you get from Drake?
But I don't understand. Like, yeah, I know. I am also here. Thank you. But I don't dig watching me in that context. This, go watch that. So can we we'll get a plug for the Shriners and go donate to the Shriners Hospital.
I got a lot of links I got to put down here now. You're going to have to write these all down so I can put them in there. We got links to your bandmate's band. We got links to the Shriners. We got links to, well, if I link to all them YouTube channels, I'm going to be here all night.
I just put them in the description.
Well, that's what I was figuring to do because I don't know how to do the other stuff yet. I'm learning. Well, I'm looking forward to trivia this on Saturday. Episode 1 went pretty good. You beat your lady in your house. It sounds like in points on episode 1.
I think so. Yeah.
You think so? He knows so.
I had 11, and then because I was upstairs and she was downstairs, and I know I got 11. I was keeping track. I showed you how I was keeping track. I sent you that. And then when I said I went downstairs and went, hey, I got 11. What did you get? She's like, not 11.
She said, and I quote to me, well, I didn't keep score, and I knew that you had her beat at that point. But the first show went great. A lot of good positive feedback. We had a lot of people join in for it, which thank you very much, by the way, for doing that. This week's show is going to be a double show. We're going to have 2 sets of questions. We're going to have the same format, but we're going to have 2 different games. So if you lose the first game, or if you lost week 1 to whoever you're playing against, we're going to have 2, so you can pull ahead this week if you want. I already got the questions all done. Thank you, Sporkle Live, for providing me some questions. So I'm looking forward to that. I got to go and borrow your glasses, though. I got to get those at some point. I don't know how we're going to do that. Maybe I got to get the glasses.
$30. here, I think I can just give you the glasses.
Well, I don't need to keep them. I just want to borrow them until you're playing again. Then you can have them back.
No, Joe got me a new set. That's my spare set, actually, that I wear right now. Everything, all my costuming is still like in our trailer. I don't have access to it. The ones I wear on stage, Joe got me this past Christmas. These ones are a spare set. So yeah, you can have them.
Well, I want them for sure because I think they look good on my show. So tune into that. Hopefully, I can get them.
Future.
Hold on. When we talk over each other, it doesn't work. What'd you say?
I said, well, I mean, if we can drive around in the near future, you can either pick them up or I can drop them off.
Well, there you go. Maybe if the beer fairy stops by again, they'll leave them outside for under your pillow.
As payment.
Well, you got one left. You don't have the sunglasses. We're talking at the same time again, dude. If you don't have the sunglasses at night beer yet, so I mean, I think that's the last one in the collection you don't have.
That's possible. The Saison's pretty good. I haven't tried the other one. But yeah, I totally would have left them in my mailbox for you if you would have told me you were stopping by. I didn't know that.
I didn't think of it until I was already halfway home. I was like, oh, I should have grabbed those while I was there. And for those of you wondering, hey, you're not supposed to be anywhere near each other. I didn't. I dropped them off in a box in front of his house, and then I texted them, and they waved to me from the window, which I missed. But we kept that social distancing. We're family, and I didn't even hand the beer to him, so I had to hide the beer outside so nobody took it. And I said, "Hey, there's a package out there." But
I then brought the box inside, put it on my kitchen counter, sprayed it with Lysol, took the beers out, and then sprayed those with Lysol. Then washed my hands. Then put the beers into the fridge.
I feel like he's joking, but I kind of believe him.
No, I totally did that.
I'm sure you did. Now that I think about it.
I'm technically in the high risk, and I shouldn't make fun because we're not actually going to see the apex of this shit for another week or two. But I'm technically in the high risk group, and there's a pretty good chance that when the governor finally makes the call to do complete lockdown, whatever, I'm going to have my mom come move in here too. So anything I can do to, make sure nothing from the outside has come in that could possibly get my mom sick or me. So I'll do it. I take it seriously.
Well, that was in the news today. Minnesota is one of the best at social distancing. They looked at our cell phones and saw that we're killing it.
This is fucking old school. We're used to this shit. They'll come in the house.
Minnesota's one of them. It's like even family. They call me. I'm like, what the fuck are you calling me? Just text me. It's good. It's cool. Let me get back to you when I'm ready.
You don't just show up unannounced.
No. Well, I show up to the bar. Sometimes I'll show up to the bar and say, hey, I'm over at the bar. You want to walk up? But that's about as unannounced as I can get. So.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I'm going to touch on a couple football things real fast just because people love football. Richie really loved our football talk last week, and I'm pretty sure Richie's a big Cam Newton guy.
Voted the last video?
What's that?
Wasn't he the guy that downvoted the last video?
No, he downvoted the commercial, but then he changed it. He said he changed it, and I looked at the stats, and he did change it, so I think he was just messing with me.
Former supermodel, Richie?
He is a supermodel. He is I'm not afraid to say it, a gorgeous man. He is a gorgeous, gorgeous man.
Yes, I've often wondered why he's not on RuPaul's Drag Race. Anyway, what's NFL? What are we talking?
First off, funny, but he's going to have his own show on here as well. This boxing show is coming up this week. You'll be able to see how gorgeous Richie is. Second off, Cam Newton got cut by the Panthers today. Cam Newton.
Who's that?
Who's that? He was only on your fantasy team the last time that you were in, and your camera gone dark again. There you go. There you go. He was on your fantasy team the last time you were in my league, and I believe that's what made you quit football, is because Cam Newton. But where's he going to go?
That and the lack of money. Fuck, I don't know. I thought for sure he was going to go to Chicago. Mm-hmm. Like a month ago, I thought for sure he'd end up in Chicago. But yeah, now Who the fuck knows? Who the hell needs a quarterback anymore?
Well, you got New England, you got the Raiders, and you got the Chargers. Those are the three. And yeah, I mean, if Chicago said they wanted him, and then they took Nick Foles. So I mean, that's got to say something about what Cam Newton's career is at this point.
Right. And the ones that you just named, I could see them bringing him in to be like a 1-year guy or whatever while they groom whoever they draft.
A 1-year
But-
prove it kind of deal.
Who the hell knows? It's just one of those things too. Like it's the double-edged sword when everybody wants that, mobile quarterback, but those guys' career only seems to be about 5 fucking years.
Right.
Once they start building up the injuries, they're kind of worthless.
So is your
But-
prediction that Lamar Jackson's going to be worthless in about 3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a hell of a quarterback.
Yeah.
What about
But-
Patrick Mahomes? He can run, but he doesn't run that often. Is he kind of outside that thing for you, or you think he's going to be good for a long time?
Pay attention. I haven't watched a lot of those games. From what I glean, one of the general consensus is he's not quite the take a hit kind of running quarterback.
Right.
So maybe that's better. I don't know.
He could
Well,
throw
it is.
a mile. He's an Uncle Rico of the NFL. He can throw a football in the mountains every time.
What? No one has ever seen a guy that can do a no look pass in the NFL and actually do it. Like that says something about that guy. That guy's just fucking special.
Well,
So-
apparently he has a behind the back pass that he can do. They can throw on a rope 25 yards. That he 25 yards on a rope behind the back, and he does it in practice. And he's always talking about you want to do it in a game, and they always say you will not do that in a game. But I bet you at some point, if it ever comes up, he'll try to bust that out into a game at some point
25 yards,
on a rope.
5 feet.
On a rope.
I can't even imagine the mechanics of that. I can't even picture how that works.
Apparently, there's video of him doing it. I haven't looked at it, but it's I believe it. I see him do that kind of stuff. Two other quick football notes. Did you see the? I know you did. That horrible Rams new logo.
Sucks.
Yeah, looks like the Chargers, and no one wants to be the Chargers.
Hold on.
We're holding on. Nothing like dead air. So I'll just talk a little bit. I definitely think that logo is god-awful. It looks like it should be the Chargers logo. I don't ever understand teams that just change their logos like that. I know maybe it's just to sell more jerseys or, hey, now you got to go buy the new jersey. I never understood that. It's like, ugh. I mean, the Vikings change their jerseys once every, 5, 6, 7 years. I like the old school purple ones. Those are the best ones in my opinion. And Cam Newton, I think if I had to wager, I'd say he's probably going to go to the Chargers, but he ain't going to do good. And he's back.
I was on beer number 4 and I was floating.
No, it's fair. I was just, while you were gone, I was just talking about different places Cam Newton can go. I think it'd be interesting if he went to Oakland, though, and watch him butt heads with John Gruden. That'd be something to watch.
Oh, yeah, but they got their 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, they got 2 bad quarterbacks.
Why would they make it 3? Oh.
You try to trade, maybe you get a 5th-round pick for Carr. You never know. Hey, Carr could be a great backup. I mean, I wouldn't mind having Carr as my backup.
You know what we're talking? I looked it up today. Actually, that was the first thing I looked up in NFL news today. It was that I don't know if we were talking about it on the podcast or just in general, but dude, guy in the Houston Texans, dude, Bill O'Brien, right?
Yep.
He has all the control. He is also the GM.
Yeah.
So GM and the coach, and he is 100%. I read that whole article about that Michael Irvin let it out that he's a giant douchebag and basically was talk some unbelievable shit to what's his face and
DeAndre Hopkins.
yeah, DeAndre Hopkins. So dude was like, all right, go fuck yourself. I'm not playing for you.
Right. Well, he told DeAndre Hopkins that he's, he compared him to Aaron Hernandez. And just to be fair, DeAndre Hopkins has never gotten in trouble. He's never gotten in trouble at the NFL at all. He's never been suspended for anything. He's never been known as a diva or anything. And I believe Bill O'Brien told him he's tired of his baby's mamas coming to practice occasionally, and that you need to look at what happened to Aaron Hernandez and, change the way you look at business. And DeAndre Hopkins is like, I'm one of the best NFL receivers in the league by far, and I've never get in trouble. And you're comparing me to a murderer who killed himself in prison.
Mhm.
I'm not surprised that they found a way to trade him, because I think he probably would have said, I'm sitting out, trade me.
Oh yeah, sure that. I'm sure he walked right into the owner's office and was like, I will not play for this team. You can all go fuck yourselves. And here's why.
Oh yeah. I don't think he wanted it out. I think he was a little mad at Michael Irvin that he let that out, because he's always kind of tried to keep that image that he doesn't like to have that. Maybe it was like, put it out, but don't really like say that you were supposed to put it out, maybe kind of deal.
Right. That's exactly what happened.
But, when you look at what they got for DeAndre Hopkins, was one of the top receivers in the league. They got nothing. And then Diggs goes for, a Herschel Walker type trade for Diggs, who, I'm sorry, he's the number 2 receiver here. He's not one of the top 3 receivers in the NFL, no matter.
That's the difference, is that DeAndre, he has been a top 3 by almost any measure. He was the top 3 wide receivers in the NFL like the last 3 seasons. Whereas, yeah, exactly what you just said. Fucking Diggs wasn't even our number 1 receiver on our team.
No, and he's a head case. I mean, he's been doing all this crap that nobody likes, the social media crap, and I don't want to do this and that, or throw me the ball, whatever.
I'm very curious, because I think there's obviously some kind of personal beef between him and Cousins. I think he fucking hates Cousins. He's always hated Cousins, which tells me, because he wasn't like that before. But before Cousins got here, you didn't really see Diggs. I mean, he was kind of, every wide receiver's a little diva-ish, but you didn't see that kind of thing. Like, I don't think, I'm trying to think of the other quarterbacks that he played with.
He played with Case Keenum. But his biggest years were under Cousins, but as funny as that is. But he played with Case Keenum. He played with who was before Case Keenum? Teddy Bridgewater. He loved Teddy. Who else was? I can't remember.
Between Teddy Bridgewater and who did we sign him when Bridgewater went down?
Trying to think of who that was. What's his name? You loved him. He used to play Sam Bradford.
Yeah, what the fuck happened to Bradford?
Well, I mean, everyone saw how terrible he is, and they don't know.
Well, it's that poor son of a bitch couldn't stay healthy.
Well, he couldn't stay on his feet either. I mean, he's kind of that old school NFL. He was a statue. I mean, in this day NFL, I know you said earlier that running quarterbacks don't last long, but you need to have some kind of mobility. If you don't have some kind of mobility, at least not necessarily to run for yards, but to escape and move, you're not going to have a long career as big as these guys have gotten.
Pocket presence.
Yeah, the era of the pocket passer is going to die with Tom Brady. And I mean, it's basically what it is. He's the last one that's a pure pocket. Maybe Aaron Rodgers could be. Aaron Rodgers used to run back in the day before he, became bionic.
So real quick, just to recap on Sam Bradford, his last season was actually 2018 with the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep.
He signed a 2-year contract for $20 million. War number 9.
If I remember, he didn't last very long in that season either.
He was benched. He eventually got benched for Josh Rosen.
Yes, that's who it was.
After the Week 3 loss to the Bears, and the Cardinals decided to keep Rosen as the starting quarterback. Bradford was inactive for the next 5 weeks until ultimately being released. He has not been back in the NFL since.
Right. I think, ever since he got hurt that year with the Vikings, that he was never the same. When he tried to come back in that week, and then Keenum had to replace him at halftime, you could tell he was looking at it, he's like, it's over. It's done. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a great quarterback back in the day. He had potential, but it's he was the last big paid quarterback before they put restrictions on the amount of money for drafting.
Yeah.
So he'll never worry about money. Have to worry about living because he's probably had about 18 concussions, I'd imagine.
Hold on a second. I can tell you.
Well, they don't list all the concussions. I mean, but
No, right. He was signed.
he had knee problems were his main problem.
His rookie contract was 6 years, $78 million.
Right. Which doesn't sound a lot, but at the time that was huge. Like
Well,
nowadays,
because 50 of it was guaranteed.
right. Nowadays, I mean, that's not as big a deal because the salary cap keeps going bigger and bigger and bigger,
But it also had escalator clauses where he could have made up to $86 million, which was the largest ever contract for a rookie.
Right. Which I always say, if you have a good quarterback and you want to sign him, you sign him as soon as you possibly can because the longer you wait, the more expensive it gets. I mean, we're going to get to that day. We already have $30 million quarterbacks. We're going to get to the day where it's $40, $50 million quarterbacks. It's gonna happen. We're already on that path. What did Brady just sign? Brady just signed a cheap contract, 2 years, $40 million. I mean, and that's considered giving him a deal.
Isn't all that basically guaranteed?
Yeah, it's a Kirk Cousins like contract. It's all guaranteed. But who was the one that Dak Prescott just turned down? It was like something like $35 million a year or something like that.
Because if you mentioned earlier that I always forget his last name, Pat McAfee.
The Pat McAfee show? McAfee.
Like he's got a really good episode where he talks about NFL contracts and about how they're just a bunch of smoke and mirrors and bullshit for the most part. Where I forgot within the last couple of weeks, somebody signed a big contract and he was like, "Hey, let me break it down for you. Like that guy will never see anywhere close to the money that they just announced what they said. Like there's so many that's taking into account all these escalator clauses that he'll never get." So.
Right. Well, he says always look at the guaranteed money. That's what the contract is. The guaranteed.
If it's not guaranteed money, he probably will never. That player will never see it for the most part.
But the guarantee is the big part. I mean, when you can guarantee the money, that's the big part. If you ever, speaking of McAfee, he just released a video too about the franchise tag, which is great. He was talking about the time where he got the franchise tag. It was the greatest day of his life. He's like, wait a minute, I get to be paid in the average of the top 5 of my position, guaranteed. Yeah, sign me up. Let's go. So, a couple other quick things with this quarantine. You think they should be delaying the draft, or do you think that's something that we should all be watching? We were talking draft before we came online here a little.
Well, you don't have it. Obviously, it can't be the traditional way that it's been for the last 10 to 15 years.
Right.
I don't see why you couldn't do it.
Well, here's the pros and cons of doing it. The pros, they've already said that they'd be doing it like an ESPN style show, and they like check into different war rooms and stuff, which would be kind of cool to watch. But at the same time, these players or these GMs and these coaches can't talk to the players. They can't do their psychological reviews of these players. They can't.
Why can't they do it right now? You and me could do it right now. Why can't they do it?
It's a good point, but they said they can't interview them. Why can't they? That's a great point. Why shouldn't you be able to do it online? But you'd think they'd be able to. But they said they can't get their doctors to give guys physicals, like guys that have injuries that they want to look at and stuff like that. Just the standard scouting stuff that they do. They said we don't have the time. We can't do it. What's that? Wow.
I get.
We are the classiest show on YouTube, by the way, as you could tell.
No, that I understand. I just thought you meant like the whole, watching an aspect. But yeah, I get that. You can't. Air travel is all but, gone now. So how the hell are you supposed to get all these guys into different places for them to see doctors? And let's be honest, we're probably going to get to the point here in the next couple of weeks where doctors in this country are going to be all hands on deck for actual life-saving bullshit as opposed to this. So, yeah, who knows?
But there's also the argument that, with no sports on and we're all quarantined, there's nothing really to watch, and it's being a nice distraction. Although something I forgot to put into what are you watching, I don't know if you saw this, but ESPN has brought back the Ocho. Have you watched that at all?
I have not seen that yet.
Oh,
No.
you got to watch the Ocho. The Ocho is hilarious. I was watching Ultimate Frisbee the other day, marble racing, and cornhole. That was a great 3.
Are you fucking serious?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, ESPN 80, the Ocho is great. And I didn't see the commercials like this time, but before, the first time they aired it, they had like the dodgeball like commercials, where it's like, if it's almost a sport, it's on the Ocho. And then, they have like the squirrel on water skis.
Is that the real slogan? Because it so should be.
It is, yeah. ESPN 8, the Ocho. That's what they call it. So definitely tune in and watch some of the Ocho. The Ocho is hilarious. They bring those 2 guys back. Who was it? Justin Bateman, and who's the other guy? He was in Office Space.
Yeah, I forgot the actor's name. I know what you're talking
Those
about.
guys are great. I didn't realize the first time I watched that movie, by the way, that was the guy from Office Space that played Lumbergh.
Yeah, Lumbergh. Yeah.
I've even watched a grown man I've even watched a grown man satisfy a camel, but I have never seen this. Great stuff there. Great stuff. And Justin Bateman was really good in that too. I mean, he's he's used to playing that straight role, and that was really, really funny. Pepper Brooks, that was his name.
And Cotton.
Cotton and Pepper Brooks. He's got the dodgeball tattoo on his neck.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up.
That's a great movie to watch. Something else, what do you watch? All right, I think that's good enough. I think we ran over our time again a little bit. Not too bad. I think it's a little shorter than we were last time. So,
Thinking about this, like, you should always be asking the people to put stuff in the comments. That's what I watch from all my YouTube watching. So, like, should we cut it down even shorter than this? You should, like, actually fucking tell us. And what else? What else should they tell us?
You got to ring the bell up there. That way you get notified every time we put a new video out. Something I'm also looking forward to. I'm going to do an interview with my friend Jan Souter later this week. She's a grief counselor. I'm going to talk about different things we can do during the quarantine to stay sane. So that will be a good interview. That should probably be on tomorrow, I think. I'll have that all done with. And then...
So, actual substance other than just talking bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, some educational stuff. I try to do everything on this channel. We do trivia, we do education, we do bullshit, we do beer, we do it all.
Right. That's our springboard to legitimacy.
Yeah, hey, so if any of you networks are looking for someone that can broadcast from home, we're available. Legend. So, all right, well, thanks again for joining in episode 2. Hit the notification, subscribe, all that stuff. I need to get to 100 subscribers here before the end of the week so we can have our own custom URL. That's the donation I'm looking for. Just subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe so we can get that custom URL and not have to have a jumble of letters and numbers and crap. So I'll try to put those links down below of everything we talked about. And we
Order food from the tailgate. Shirt you're wearing.
Oh, yeah, and the tailgate in Richfield, Minnesota. Or South Minneapolis.
God damn it.
All right, so we'll see you probably in a couple days.